Dear friends, English literature, romantic poetry, William Wordsworth, selected poems, Tin Turnaby, short questions with answers. Short questions 1 to 11. Question 1. What natural scenes and objects are described in Tin Turnaby? Answer. At the beginning of the poem, Tin Turnaby, Wordsworth describes some lovely scenes and objects of nature. He describes the soft murmuring sound of the waves of the river Wye as it flows down from its source in the mountain. He sees those high and steep rocks through which the river flows. He finds the peaceful hill increasing the loneliness of the scene. He finds the serenity of the sky mingling with and deepening calm of the green valley. While taking rest under the sycamore tree, he sees the grassy plots near the cottages and groups of fruit trees, which in the month of July are laden with unripe fruits. All these are green and seem to mix with and to be lost in groups of tall and small trees, which too are green. He also sees rows of plants or bushes round the field for protection, as if having spread themselves in a playful mood. Question 2. What benefits does the poet get from them? Answer. All these beautiful aspects of nature left a lasting impression on the poet's mind and meant something for him. When he was troubled in the noisy towns and cities, the sweet memories of these lovely scenes refreshed his mind and brought him pleasure and peace of mind. This beautiful scenery also prompted him to perform little acts of love and charity to humanity. There is another benefit. Deep contemplation stirs in him higher emotions like love, faith, devotion, piety, and this stirring leads him to a blissful state of mind, and in this state the functions of body seem to be suspended for the time being. In this state of mind, we seem to have lost our bodily existence and become pure souls only. In this state of spiritual existence, we acquire a mental vision of the harmony in all creations, and we become able to see into the inner meanings of things. An inner region of perfect law and order that holds the universe of man and nature together emerges before our mental vision. Question 3. How was Wordsworth's love for nature in his boyhood and early childhood, early youth? Answer. In his boyhood, Wordsworth's love of nature was instinctive. He lived a coarser, boyish pleasure in the presence of nature. At the time, he found pleasure in roaming about in the midst of nature. In his early youth, he was in relationship with nature physically. At the time, nature was all in all to him, and he loved only the sensuous beauty of nature. He was enthralled by the nature's enchanting physical loveliness. He felt a deep love for the tall rocks, mountains, and jungle. At that stage, he experienced aching joys and dizzy raptures in his contact with nature. But he had no philosophy of nature. He loved only the sights and sounds of nature. At this stage, he cared only for the outward beauty of nature. Question 4. How was his love of nature changed in his mature age? Answer. But in his mature years, his love for nature becomes spiritual and intellectual. At this stage, the aching joys and dizzy raptures were no more, yet his simple delight in nature did not diminish. The sensuous aspect of nature ceased to be all important to him. The poet, coming in close contact with the realities of life, became able to hear in nature the still and music of humanity. His reflective communion with nature has led him to see into the very life of things. Thus, he came to read the hidden meaning of nature. Contemplation over human sufferings has chastened and humanized his soul. Now, being chastened and chastened in heart, he has been able to find an eternal bond between man and nature. In this stage, he has gained a spiritual vision through which the unintelligible mystery of the world has been unveiled to him. Question 5. What laws does the poet refer to in Tintin Abbey? Answer. In Tintin Abbey, the poet speaks of the loss of the traits of vigorous adolescence, intense absorption, joys and raptures of thoughtfulness of youth. The adolescent and early youth stage of the poet's life was a feverish, unreflecting, sensuous absorption into nature. In this stage, the poet loved nature for her own sake. In his boyhood, he felt animal coarser pleasure in the presence of nature. In his early youth, he loved only the sensuous beauty of nature. At this stage, the visible forms and the various colors only satisfied his senses. The sounding waterfalls haunted him like a passion and possessed his mind with an intensity of a deep longing. The tall rocks, the mountains, and the woods developed in him a strong sense of passion. But with the gaining in maturity and experience, the passion and appetite, the aching joys and dizzy raptures of the thoughtless youth have disappeared. Question 6. What followed the loss? Answer. But the poet has no regret for such loss, for other gifts of abundant recompenses have followed this loss. With the maturity and experience, though he lost the aching joys and dizzy raptures, he had gained spirituality in his love of nature. Now he became able to read the hidden meaning of nature. In the running water of the brook, he heard the still, sad music of humanity. The water of the brook gave him the idea of tears and troubles of humanity. Contemplation over human sufferings has chastened and humanized his soul. Human sorrow and suffering have now become music, and they are not out of harmony with the peace, quiet, and order that reign through the universe. They melt and flow and bend into supreme harmony. In this stage, he has also come to feel a spirit pervading and diffused over the universe and the mind of man. This spirit stirs his soul with the joy of lofty thoughts. In this stage, he has gained a spiritual vision through which the unintelligible mystery of the universe has been unveiled to him. Question 7. What is mysticism? Answer. Mysticism is a belief that holds that knowledge of God and truth can be achieved through prayer and meditation rather than through reason and the senses. The mystic is one who seeks by contemplation and self-surrender to obtain union with or absorption into the deity, or who believes in his spiritual apprehension of truths inaccessible to understanding. The basic feature of mysticism may be described as an attitude of mind founded upon an instinctive or experienced conviction of unity, of oneness, of likeness in all things. Question 8. Describe Wordsworth's qualities of mysticism in Tintin Abbey. Answer. Wordsworth is a mystic poet par excellence. His mysticism is illustrated in his belief, number 1, in the immanence of the universe, is universal spirit of God. Number 2, in intercommunion between God's soul in nature and God's spirit in man. Number 3, the sustaining effect of this communion. Wordsworth's communion with nature inspires him to feel the presence of divine spirit in the light of the setting sun, the ocean, and the living air, the blue sky, in the mind of man. He believed that the divine spirit pervades all objects of nature, The poet, coming in close contact with the realities of life, became able to hear the nature, the still sad music of humanity. His reflective communion with nature has led him to see into the very life of things. Contemplation over human sufferings has chastened and humanized his soul. Now, being chastened in heart, he has been able to find an eternal bond between man and nature. In this stage, he has gained a spiritual vision through which the unintelligible mystery of world has been unveiled to him. Question 9. Describe Wordsworth's pantheistic creed of nature as is found in Tinter Navy. Question. Answer. Wordsworth's greatest contribution to the poetry of nature is his pantheism. It is the very bedrock of Wordsworth's philosophy of nature. His pantheistic creed of nature finds a magnificent expression in Tinter Navy. The poet here expresses his firm belief in the existence of a mysterious soul brooding over the universe and the mind of man. The presence of this spirit stirs the poet's soul with an elevation of thoughts. This spirit is diffused and pervades through all objects of nature, such as the light of the light of the setting sun, the living air, the round ocean, the sky overhead. It is also diffused over the mind of man. This indwelling spirit gives life to all thinking creatures and sustains them. It sweeps unseen thought out of the universe as life-giving and sustaining energy. The poet loves the woods, the mountains, the fields, since they are the visible shape of God. Nature is the source of purest thoughts. She is the guide and guardian of moral being. Thus, Wordsworth's pantheism is found in his belief in God, moving through all subjects and rolling through all things. Question 9. Who is Dorothy? Answer. Dorothy was the younger sister of poet William Wordsworth. Here, eyes were wild and startling and hurried in their motion. She was Wordsworth's constant companion, his housekeeper, his secretary, his comforter, and the source of his poetic inspiration. There is a mutual love and friendship between them. She loved his brother more deeply than anyone else. They grew together in their childhood and naturally her presence carried him back to the days of childhood. When Wordsworth visited Tinter Navy in the Wye Valley for the second time in 1798, she accompanied him. In the poem Tinter Navy, the poet refers to her as the dearest friend. Her voice and wild eyes remind the poet of those pleasures which once derived from the beautiful objects of nature in the days of his youth. Question 11. What does the poet advise her and why? Answer. In Tinter Navy, Wordsworth advises his sister Dorothy to cultivate friendship with nature because nature never did betray, and that is, nature never deceives any person, anyone. According to the poet, nature gives us a happy frame of mind. Nature exercises an ennobling and elevating influence on us. Love of nature fills our mind with lofty thoughts and disperses little-mindedness. Troubles and misfortunes visit us. People criticize us and talk ill of us, and that makes us miserable. People pass hasty judgments on our work and actions. Selfish men feel jealous of our achievements. Friends are cold to us. Our spirits are crushed by the dull struggle of daily life. But all these misfortunes can do nothing against us if we worship nature. Nature leads us from joy to joy. For a worshipper of nature, life is all joy. He advises his sister to let the moon shine on her and the winds blow on her. That is, put herself under the eyes of nature. If ever misfortunes fail her, she would remember his advice that nature worship removes all worries and troubles. Thank you, friends.